Kielty, plumbing, heating, cooling, celebrating 15 years of bringing comfort to you. Healing Realty, call RJ Kielty, they'll get your system working to cool you down. And if fixing a leak is what you seek, RJ Kielty service is the best around. RJ Kielty, plumbing, heating, cooling, over 50 years of bringing comfort to you.
Jesse, I wish we could just keep playing that
song.
jingle over and over. You should have seen.
I sing it
Should
all
have
the
seen
time.
Taylor, yeah, dancing.
Sort of my anthem at this point.
Yeah. But here we are, episode 25. I cannot believe we're on 25. That's a lot. That's a lot. We've learned a lot. We've talked to a lot of people, helped a lot of people, and honestly, just proud to be here. So 25, big number 25.
Halfway to 50.
Yeah.
And today we have very special guests too. So I think it's a good one for 25. We have Kelly and Andrew with Andrew's Tree Care. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, the lovely Kelly, and we got Andrew here, and
Yes.
we're talking about.
They're both
trees and
lovely, okay,
misconceptions.
Tanner? We know that
Sorry,
Andrew
Andrew.
is lovely too. Got your back, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you. So let's talk history. So when did you guys start Andrew's Tree Care? Why did you start Andrew's Tree Care?
So Andrew's Tree Care originally started after I worked under another tree service that was my friend's dad's. I worked for him for about a year, and in that time I did work on the side as well. I got a chainsaw and I had a little trailer, went around and trimmed palm trees.
Awesome.
Doing my own work, I just kind of started slacking when I was working under someone else.
Yeah.
And I just didn't really feel like what I was getting paid was worth my time. So eventually I left there and started working for myself full time.
Okay.
Just tree care. And then after I did that, my mom and dad joined in as well. And that's how it became a family business. And that was January 2020.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Love that.
Yeah, right in the middle, right before COVID, I guess.
Yeah. Which is crazy too, because usually it's like like the parents start a business and they bring their kids in. So it's kind of a little reverse on it, on the family ran business, because you started it and then your parents were like proud of you. They're like, wow, this is a good idea. Let us jump
I
in.
think they were just looking for an out because they were sick and tired of their careers.
No, not me. I was nursing then.
Yeah.
I was doing COVID nursing.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy too. Yeah, I'm sure you got all kinds of stories.
Oh, I do. Tons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but going back on that, so it's really a cool story. So my dad started RJ Kielty in 1973, and actually my grandpa, his dad, worked for him.
Wow.
So the same probably struggles that you have. Like, so my dad and my grandpa would maybe meet on a job site with a builder or somebody doing a remodel or even a service shop, and people would gravitate towards my grandpa.
Yeah.
And my dad would have to say, no, I'm the owner. I'm the one. You know what I mean? So I'm
Take
sure
the
you
reins.
probably get some of that.
Same exact
Yeah. They perceive you too young, maybe, and so
especially on my job site, because I'm the youngest one usually.
Yeah.
And I have an older gentleman who works for me.
Mhm.
Most of the time, everyone thinks that he's the boss.
Yeah. So
maybe it's easier to let them think that.
I do usually.
So let's talk about that. Actually, I've same thing. I started up pretty young. Actually was in high school and started doing plumbing originally. How hard is it to be the boss, knowing that you have people that are maybe more experienced, people that are older than you? How hard is that to be able to manage those people and so you garner their respect?
I think a lot of the time that age and experience don't go hand in hand in times.
Correct.
Because you can have someone who's 20 years old who's more skilled and more mature than someone who's in their 40s.
Yeah.
So I think just to gain respect from those people is treat them with respect as well. And a lot of the lack of respect can come from someone that just thinks because they're older that they may know more.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a cocky
Yeah.
kind of thing in it. So
I 100% agree with that. I think in our industry, getting in the
Mhm.
ditch and showing them, you know what I mean? They kind of, are going to give you respect, and let them know that, hey, they can't, jump over you. They can't do whatever they want. You know what I mean? But you're also going to hand in hand be able to help them get their job done. I think that goes a
I
long
try to be
way.
more of a leader than like
Hmm.
a boss,
Yeah.
especially on the job sites myself.
Hmm.
I don't stand around when I'm always like doing something, to provide a good example for the people who work under me.
That's awesome.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. So what's the difference between, say, and I have my perception, but I want you guys to say this first. So what's the difference between Andrew's Tree Care and any other tree service around?
So
Go ahead.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
go ahead. I was gonna say, well, we have an Andrew.
Yeah.
And me.
Yeah.
a lot of tree services are usually they don't care about the work they do; they're just cash grabs.
Hmm.
Um, where we try to be more, personable with everyone that we talk
Mhm.
to. We don't do work, we don't just cut down a tree just because someone wants to cut down.
Yeah.
We follow all the rules of permitting and the guidelines
Mhm.
of the ISA.
Yeah.
And what else? I got a brain fart for a second.
No.
Yeah.
We show up
Mhm.
because we have complaints that people don't show up on time. They
That was
don't
one of the things
call,
I was gonna say.
they
Yeah.
don't communicate correctly. There's no follow-up.
Mhm.
If we do make a mistake, we own up to it and go fix it.
Mhm.
Other companies don't do that.
Mhm.
We have workers' comp. A lot of tree companies don't have that
Yeah.
either. Um,
And they have Kelly.
that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
So some of the things, when I put my name and if I were to recommend somebody, some of the things I look for is, are they professional? You know what I'm saying? Do they, like you said, do they follow up? Are they going to show up on time or call the person beforehand and saying,
Yeah.
hey, we have an issue, that communication, everything I've heard about you guys follow through with all that stuff. And the typical stereotypes of, tree services is just a guy that's going to come out and,
Yeah.
not be wearing, the right clothing, doesn't care about safety, maybe takes a deposit, doesn't show back up, doesn't follow up, not show up on time, or doesn't even call the people and say, and everything I've heard from you guys, online, you guys kind of follow that. You guys are actually doing it the right way, staying away from those stereotypes.
Yeah.
I think that's, to me as a consumer, that's what I look for. You know what I mean? So
I have one other thing to touch
Mhm.
base that makes you guys different. You guys do a lot in the community.
yes,
We
You do a
do.
lot with these
Yes.
events. You come out. You always have like the cutest table.
Yeah.
They give out wildflower seeds, and I just freaking I love.
I love that idea.
I love
Honestly,
that idea. I
whose idea
literally-
was that?
I think that was mine.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time I
Yeah.
go to an event that you guys are at, I take those seeds. I go and plant them out and about. I don't even plant them in my own house. I'm sorry. I'll find like somewhere that has like a bunch of weeds, like in downtown or something. I put your seeds there.
It
That's
is
cool.
a family effort to make those, though.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
have the whole table out. And actually, we have to make some more soon. We
Yeah.
have to stamp them, we fill them, color them. It's like takes a
That's the
lot.
other thing my kids love.
Trust me, we know how that goes.
The ones that you don't color, my kids love those because then like I use the seeds and then I give the kids the little paper and they think it's so cute to color the bumblebee and the flowers and stuff. So it's fun for everyone.
Yes.
So how, I guess, kind of keep going on that, being a part of the community. I know that's, almost like a sweat equity type thing. You've got to be
Yeah.
at all the events and get in front of people and having a fairly new business. How important has that been to you?
I feel it's been important.
Mhm.
One, to get our name out
Yeah.
and show that we do care about the community. And we do a lot of things too that may not even be the events.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like at Christmas time, we did foster children and then we did nursing homes.
Love
So
that.
things like that is not just an event.
Mhm.
We sponsor North Pinellas Panther football team.
Mhm.
We've done that 2 years in a row, probably this year again. And then Andrew was there taking out a tree in our yard, and he went and did all the neighbors and just did it. He didn't
Yeah.
they just showed up. Some of them weren't even home, and it's done.
Yeah, that's awesome. See, and
So
that's what is doing stuff like that, not expecting something to come back. It's usually going to come back.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Taking care of people.
Being
Ultimately,
good
that's
people.
that's all that matters.
Period.
I think that comes from me being a nurse too.
Yeah.
So many years.
Yeah.
So I was like, that was my next question. You being a nurse, Kelly, how important it is for you to like bring that nursing, bring that caretaking to, tree service.
Yeah, it has. I can see it relates a lot because a
Mhm.
lot of nursing is customer service,
Mhm.
especially what I was doing, like mom baby. A lot of it is education and caring and customer service. So it has related over to the tree business. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't miss nursing.
Yeah. I bet nowadays too. I mean, we could go on to stuff. I've got good friends of mine that are doctors and stuff. And they talked how the care is kind of gone, and it's kind of more of a transactional, quicker process instead of
Yeah.
doing the right thing. So
Yeah. And then too, like it's mostly been women that are very upset about removing a tree.
Yeah.
We only remove trees if we have to, if they're diseased or
Yep.
damaged, lightning. Um, and we've had people call me crying on the phone because we have to remove a tree. So I can help. I feel like me being a nurse with that caring attitude, I'm able to comfort them more.
Yep.
And we always get off the phone and they're always thanking me
Yeah.
after that.
I
phone
mean,
call.
I know I cried when my 2 trees got cut down in my last backyard.
Yeah.
They were beautiful. Do you guys plant trees?
We do not.
This sounds like a really good promo in the future. I'm just saying. I'm going to take full credit for it when it happens. You could do like every tree you remove, you take a portion of your proceeds, put it towards planting a new tree. Every tree that's diseased or rotted out and you have to remove it.
That's a good idea.
Not gonna
The
lie, I
only
do like
issue-
that.
The only issue with that is a lot of these homeowners don't want any trees.
So you
on their
plant it somewhere
property.
else.
Like a sanctuary
Yeah.
type thing.
Well, some cities have what they call the tree bank.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can do that.
If you apply for a permit and you want a tree removed,
Mhm.
and you either have to replant one on your property or you can donate money to the tree bank.
Mm-hmm.
See, I love that
And
idea.
Safety Harbor does that. I'm not sure which other cities do around here.
Okay, sidetrack, but like when I die, they have this thing where you can like put your remains into like a tree.
I
Like,
saw that.
it.
Yeah.
It starts like a little pod.
it's like it's called the tree of life or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I think that is so
that'd be
cool.
suitable for me.
I know, me
Yeah.
too. I want to be a tree and I want like a little bench under there so like my kids and grandkids can like sit at my tree.
There you go.
Sorry guys, that was a random
Yeah.
fact of the day.
That
No.
was way off track. But
Yeah.
that's okay.
No, but that's kind of cool. And I know somebody like he had a t-shirt company, and a buddy of mine, he was good friends with him, but I met him fishing with him. But it's called Mang, and basically for every every shirt that you bought, he planted a mangrove. So it's kind of
yeah, that's
you know,
nice. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We should look
You
into
do that
yeah,
too.
like a conservation
Make
type
like
thing.
t-shirts, a little Andrew's Tree Care apparel. Buy a tree or buy a shirt,
We
buy
gotta
a
make some-
tea,
some good
buy a
swag.
tea, plant a tree.
I
There
saw her
you
little,
go.
I saw her
Woo!
little
I like
wheel.
it.
It was
going over
working.
there.
You saw
All
it?
right.
You know, it's a slow light, but it's burning.
I like it. We're getting a lot of ideas from here.
Maybe we just need to hire you.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Tanner, watch out.
Uh-oh.
Watch out, Tanner.
No
Awesome.
no take backs.
Right? They'll return me in the first week. It's okay.
All right, we got some comments coming in here, and
What do we got?
we got
Ooh,
Jim. Jim says hi. How you doing, Jim?
We love Jim. Jim is actually married to one of our employees, Lisa. He's a super fan.
Yep.
Super fan.
I can't
Thank
see
you,
what
Jim.
Jim is saying.
Oh, Missy. Hi guys. How you doing, Missy?
Hi,
You're-
Missy.
You were supposed to read.
I
this
know
one.
the light. Hold on. We're
All
gonna
right,
have
yeah, it
such
says-
a fun tent at the Capital Tacos Hub Life Charities Incorporated Charity Golf Tournament, which is on June 9th at Cypress Run. we're all going to be there.
Yes,
So
it's
you
gonna
guys
be a
should
good
be there
time.
too.
Oh, no,
Thank you,
yeah.
Missy, for the reminder.
No, yeah. Missy, Steve, well, the whole Hub Life crew putting on a huge event. They have, gosh, Missy, you did a great job on sponsors.
she
You have
did.
a ton of sponsors. A lot of people that are very, very excited about this, and it's going to be for a great cause. And
It is.
if I remember correctly, it's also going to be some of the money or whatever's going to go towards turf for Pasco Animal Services. Didn't I hear that or something like that?
I don't know, but if so, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. I know that Steve had done a portion of it
Yeah.
at their facility.
Yeah.
So
I
if
know
they're
he's
doing
already
it, that's
donated
great.
stuff, and he does. Honestly, he's amazing at pavers, turf.
Yeah, he is. Great guy.
Putting greens. I mean, we just found out he's backed up, I don't know, months because he does such a good job. So that's a testament to
we
what he
love him.
does.
Yeah, they're a great couple.
Yeah.
What are your
really,
guys?
really
What are you guys
Yeah.
doing at your tent for that event? By the way,
Fireball.
Woo!
This
Oh,
is gonna be a
geez,
fun
not gonna-
event. Tanner, I don't think you should come. I think you
Golf and drinking. Yeah,
I think you
don't
should
know.
sit this event out and just let me handle this
Yeah.
one.
That's what I'm scared about.
We're still working on other things too, but
Yeah.
definitely Fireball and Peak Whitney's.
Be careful.
Yep.
'cause
We'll do the fireball dance together, Kelly. I'll see you there.
I don't recommend going round shot for shot for the golfer.
If I'm honest, I can't drink fireball anyways.
He's done
So-
that in previous ones.
I did it for like the first 8 rounds. I was sleeping behind the tent before 10.
I believe that.
I believe it
I
too. No
suck.
offense, Andrew. You look like a lightweight.
Oh, sometimes honestly, I could take 10 vodka cranberries and then be fine sometimes, and then I can have 2 neutrals and I'll feel drunk. So
Yeah, I don't drink that much, so I take back what I said. I'm definitely going to be the lightweight of this trio over here. Sorry, Tanner.
So Jesse, do we have any more? I can't. One more. Here we go. Yeah, that she said. Yeah, animal services turf provided by Southern Outdoors.
That is so cool. I love that you guys are doing that because I love that facility.
And I want to. And Missy put together a cruise for me and my family on the Utopia Seas, and she took care of everything. Highly recommend Missy. She does an amazing job.
Yeah,
Great
Missy.
person and is on it. Again, follows through like you guys.
She
Yeah.
helped plan my cruise as well.
Did she?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm next. I called dibs. I want to go on the Utopia as well.
All right, let's see what else we got.
Brian Amanda Hart says, love the mother and son team.
Ooh, from a mother and son
That's
team to a mother and
right,
son
I
team.
know.
Hey, nothing comes between a mom and her son. Okay, we all know that.
We need
Mama
to
bear.
do things together.
Yeah.
We should have a podcast with them and us.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you come in here, you spot whenever you want. Yeah. I've
Hey.
actually had some other people use the podcast room before.
Yeah, they could
Great,
use you as a
yeah.
recommendation for all those roofs that have tree limbs that fall on them. Yeah, they go fix the roof. You take care of the trees. I think that would be a great partnership. Just saying.
So let's talk about this. What are the ups and downs of a family business, a mother and son?
Oh no, we can't get
I've
into
heard
that.
tidbits. I've heard tidbits.
Oh, we're gonna get deep in it. Let's go.
Well, he tries to act like my boss.
How well does that go for you, Andrew?
Maybe 50-50, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I'm supposed to run the field,
Mhm.
but she likes she likes to try to run the field sometimes too. Nicest way to say that.
That was a good. Yeah.
Look,
He's
in
being
her
politically
defense,
correct.
She has been holding the reins for you most of her life. She's gonna
Yes.
probably do it for the rest of
Mhm.
hers. So
Probably.
Yes.
Mhm.
I do a lot for him. So
Mhm.
she's a good mama.
So it's pretty good, the relationship most of the time.
most of the time,
Most
yeah.
of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a little bit of tension
Yeah.
here and there, but
And there's disagreements, and you're like, gosh, sometimes I wish you weren't my mom.
And we are bringing
You
in my
are.
daughter, Adriana.
Okay.
Oh,
And
you
that-
are?
Yes.
I didn't know you had a daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
That she's a nurse also.
Okay. Awesome.
So that brings a whole new level. There's
of care.
I'm sorry, Andrew.
I know Andrew's tree care is being taken over by the women.
That's
of the
right.
He's
family.
gonna have
Girls
gray hair
roll,
here
come
pretty
on.
soon.
Girls roll.
I started my own company thinking I would, not have a boss. And then here I am having my mom as my boss.
I mean, what did you think
your
was going
sister.
to happen? What did you think was going to happen, Andrew?
So what's the day-to-day like?
Um,
So Andrew, do you do a lot of like the sales stuff, or your mom
So,
does most
yeah.
of it?
My mom takes the phone calls and writes up the
Mhm.
estimates.
Okay.
I do the estimates and run the field. So as soon as I'm done doing estimates, then I go to the field. I bring them my workers lunch.
Yeah.
Every day we include that. We include.
Oh, that's awesome.
we
See,
include
I love that. Yeah.
So that's perks working for Andrew speaker because
Mhm.
you get free food while you're working.
You guys
So
hear that?
Sometimes it can be breakfast, lunch, and dinner
Mhm.
because sometimes we start at 7 a.m. We've gone until 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Of course.
yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
later
So-
after the hurricane.
Mhm.
Well, that's the other thing. Hurricane season's coming up.
Yes.
You guys are about to be slammed.
Well, that was one of the questions that I had to. So, like you said, hurricane, tropical storms, whatever. Even these just thunderstorms that roll through.
Yeah.
You get high winds. What can people do? I know everybody calls you after the fact, or they call you right before. But what can people do to be proactive to make sure that they're taking care of their trees? And what do they need to kind of look for to see if
Mhm.
the tree's dead, or you know what I mean?
Don't wait last minute.
Yeah.
If you have any concerns about your trees.
Yeah.
We usually have guides and things that we put out on our Facebook
Mhm.
that that shows you how to easily spot like a dead tree.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or other than that, we give free estimates. So anyone who is even curious about their tree, whether it's alive or dead, they can call us and even just send me a picture of the tree, and I'll tell them if they need anything.
Yeah, we
Okay,
have your
that's
banner
awesome.
going right there with your
Yeah.
number and your website.
Perfect.
So anyone who wants an estimate, their information scrolling at the bottom right now. So
That's another thing with that sets us apart from a lot of these other tree services is that as like an arborist, one of your like jobs should be to inform your client.
Mhm.
So I always inform my client what type of trees they have, anything they would need to know, whether it's dead, it's alive. My recommendations of I usually try to give them multiple options.
Yep.
So I don't just try to sell my client on the biggest job. I give them options of whether they could trim a tree versus removing them, and this is your price point. So you have a couple different budget options from here.
No, that's perfect.
I love that.
Yeah,
we're
me
we're the
too.
same way. We like to educate, and then we give at least 3 options, and we put that in the customer's hands. Whatever what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like
Yep.
here's
Let
good,
them
better,
make the
best.
decision.
It's I informed you, I armed you with all the education you need to make the best decision for your family. You know what I mean? So I love that you do that. I'm sure a lot of people don't do that. They kind of force people to do something. I love that you give people options, because that's what I love.
Yeah, I mean,
too, to
I've had
receive
times
options.
where I go out to estimates and it's someone that they have some like tools at home
Mhm.
and they just think they want to do it themselves. So I'll tell them, okay, if you want to do the work yourself, these are the branches that you should cut off, and this is how you do it.
Mhm.
I've done it with clients, and I have a little laser pointer, and I'll point
Yeah.
to the spots in the trees,
Yeah.
things like that.
Well, that's nice of you to
That's
do
I don't
that.
make any
awesome.
money off of that.
Yeah.
I just
But
try
you
to-
will, because that person, maybe it's
Mhm.
their neighbor that's elderly and
Yeah.
and needs help,
Yep.
and they're going to refer you. So
We tell our
I
guys
love
that too. Tanner always tells our guys when they're out in the field, like if you're out and you're doing a unit and you see that there's an elderly woman that you're servicing and she's got a light bulb that's out, ask her if you can change the light bulb. Like just doing small, kind things that really don't benefit you in a financial way, but helps out, that sticks with
Yeah.
people. So it's great that you do that. I love that.
I always put myself in the positions too. Like if I,
Mhm.
if it was my grandma, I would
Grandma,
want somebody
exactly,
helping,
Right.
or my
exactly.
mom, or
Yeah, and
sister,
can you imagine if
whoever.
that guy did try to go cut his trees and had no idea what he was doing and did something wrong, hurt himself? You know what I mean? You probably avoided him from having to go to the hospital. So.
And let's be real too. That person's probably gonna maybe do the first limb or something.
Yeah,
be like,
yeah.
I don't know if this is for me.
They're gonna realize how
We've
hard it
had
is.
that
They're
too. Then they call me.
Yeah.
and I'm
About
like,
that quote.
Okay.
Yeah,
I remember you.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm gonna probably
That's-
have you guys do it.
That's like one of our biggest things actually is a lot of people don't realize that how far away that wood in that tree is.
Yeah.
So they think, oh, it's like this big. And in reality, it's like 10 feet long. And
Yeah.
after you drop it down 40 feet.
Yeah.
Stay
Yeah,
away
exactly.
from
They drop
trees.
it down and they're like, yeah, now I gotta haul this thing away.
Yep.
Where am I gonna bring it?
Mhm.
You know, do I need to
Yeah.
hire 3 other people to cut it up to put it someplace? Do I need a truck? Or people don't realize how tough of a job that you guys have.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It's dangerous. Yeah.
And it's very dangerous. Yeah, let's go into that. Let's talk a little bit about the dangers of,
Tree care.
tree care. Have you seen anything
Mm,
where people really got hurt? Or I'm
Uh,
sure you guys have seen online, but I mean that's got to be one of the most dangerous.
Thankfully, we've had no injuries at any of our job
Yeah.
sites.
That's awesome.
Out of the 5 years we've been working.
Yeah. That's a testament right there.
It
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
can be very dangerous if you're not educated.
Mhm.
Yep.
And if you have to do it a very specific way to make things work the way you want them to.
Mhm.
It's basically just all ropes and pulleys and
Mhm.
cutting the wood a certain way to make things fall. Because you're swinging thousands of pounds
Mhm.
Yeah.
of wood right in front of you.
Yeah.
So as long as you aren't like stepping out of your comfort zone, and you're wearing all your safety gear, doing things as you should, you can mitigate most of the dangers of the job.
Mhm.
Not It's still very dangerous,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of ways to be safer
Yeah.
doing it just by following the rules.
Mhm.
And one arborist dies in the U.S. once every 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see
Um,
it on Facebook on the tree groups we're on.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have a really good life insurance plan on Andrew.
I've had a lot of close calls already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got some guardian angels.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So how
Yeah.
hard is it? Let's kind of let's go through the process. So there's a house here, there's a fence here, there's
like, how
a
do
car
you-
over here. How do you get it to fall where you want?
So usually when I first am looking at a tree and thinking about how I cut it down, I just like look at my obstacles around me, like if there's a driveway or a house or a car in the
Mhm.
way. And the easiest way is you just cut into a lot of small pieces.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
But that's
You kinda
probably
like- you
not the
kinda
most
like top
time
it kind of a thing
consuming.
and go
so
down?
what I do is when I cut all the stuff that I can just cut, or I can just cut and just let it fall, or I can cut it and throw it out of the way.
Mhm.
And then I get to the heavier wood where we work with pulleys and ropes to lower
Mhm.
things down. And I have the skid steer that we use. It's called a porter wrap. It's
Mhm.
just like a wrap to control the descent of like logs and things like that. And
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, just piece it down, and we use notches in the wood to get it to fall a certain way.
Mhm.
And it's a fun job.
Mhm.
That's why I love tree work, is because every single tree that we've been trimming or removing poses different obstacles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a
not-
problem solver, whether you want to
Yeah.
be or not.
Yeah.
You're problem solving. You're like, okay, here it is. And I'm sure just like me too, I like doing different stuff. So like with that, you're like, there's a different tree every time. So it's
Yeah,
like,
and
how am I gonna,
And sometimes it's just like a lot of thoughts and prayers
Mhm.
in there.
Yeah.
'cause,
Don't say
yeah,
that.
well, it's you know what you're doing. It's supposed to go the way that
Yeah.
you did everything you can, and then 99% of the time it will.
Yeah.
1% of the time it'll do something wacky, like it'll just split in half. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Things don't always go the way you want to.
Yeah.
You do them perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have a funny story about Todd though.
Yeah. Go.
Oh, I already know the story.
All right. Something happened and we had to all go to the job site. So I can't remember. I think one of our workers were sick or something. So even I went, like I help on the job site, wouldn't have to. I rake. He says I'm a good raker.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't want to do it himself. You're doing great, Mom. You're the best breaker I know.
Usually like 30 feet in the air, just watching them.
So Andrew told Todd, don't wrap it or something. The rope.
Yeah.
He was holding the rope and he did whatever Andrew said not to do.
Mhm.
And next thing I know, Todd is sliding across the whole yard. It pulled
Yeah.
when he dropped it. It pulled. I laughed so hard.
Was he okay?
So
He was fine, but I think he was embarrassed.
on
Where was the camera when you needed
I
it?
know. I was gonna say, what a great YouTube video that would have
Yeah.
been.
It
You would have been
would've been.
famous just from that alone.
it was better. It was better from my angle. So we have like 2 ropes. One that is load bearing, that holds
Yeah.
the weight, and then we have another rope that we use that someone just holds by hand.
Yeah.
Is to stop it from swinging back
Mhm.
and forth after
Okay.
after it falls. I'm behind the tree, so I can't see anyone that's holding any of the ropes. and I'm cutting this. It's about 1,000-pound log.
Mhm.
Yeah, I tell my dad was holding the rope. It's called a tag line, the one that just stops from swinging. I told him, don't step on it, don't wrap your hand around it, because it will pull you across the yard.
Yeah.
I'm cutting the branch, and I like peek up over the log because I can't see them while I'm cutting it,
Yeah.
and I see his hand wrapped around it, and it's already starts falling, and then I see the log fall, and he's just gone, disappeared, like literally from my point of view, just vanished into thin air.
So as the
So-
log went down, it pulled him.
He went straight, probably all the way from me to the desk. At least.
No, it was more than that. It was a whole, yeah, it's way more. It was like a yard.
Oh, yard. Hold on.
It's like a scene from a movie, but it
It
actually
was.
happened.
It was.
I guess that's the one incident.
I'm done.
Disclaimer: nobody was hurt. The house was not hurt.
That's what I was going to ask. Have
Freaking
you?
funny.
I'm sure. I mean, like you said, there's a 1% chance, and it doesn't matter what you do to mitigate it. Have you guys had any like unforeseen damage, like a house fall or a tree falling on like a fence or anything like that? That you?
Fences sometimes, yeah, we have
Yeah.
branches. Just
Yeah.
sometimes it can be windy.
Yeah.
And I could throw a branch, and
Yeah.
the wind could pick it up and carry it.
Yeah.
The only damage we ever had was when I started doing it. This is still when I did it by myself.
Mhm. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
about a year in, and I was cutting down a palm tree, and the palm tree, I had a rope hooked up to it. I did everything right, did the notch. So I was doing everything I was supposed to. The palm tree was halfway rotted, and I didn't through the trunk, and I didn't know.
Mm.
So I went to cut it. Halfway through it, it just started falling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it dragged up against the house and took a satellite dish off the house.
Mhm.
But that's the only thing that we've had happen, which we got everything fixed for the client and everything. But
In my opinion, that's really impressive.
yeah,
for
so far,
for cutting that much, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
For 5 years, that's the
I would
longest.
expect it happens like once a month, honestly.
no,
You know what I
the-
mean?
our most common things is like sprinkler.
Mhm.
Sprinkler,
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
number one, and then
Yeah.
once
Just falling on it, kind of a thing, or the roots when it pulls up, it
usually
pulls
like
it up.
stump grinding,
Yeah.
or we had one where we had a log fall on it and break it. But
Yeah.
minor stuff. We've never had anything
very minor.
significant.
Yeah.
I know. Knock on
Yeah.
wood for sure.
Yeah.
Knock on it for you.
No, that's awesome, guys. Do we have any more? We got a comment
Comments?
here.
Missy, the ladders are the ups and downs.
Yep.
That was insightful, Missy.
Yep.
She's the number one fan right now.
Yeah.
I snorted and everything.
Well, I keep asking the questions. If you want to ask her, I can keep going.
What are the service areas that you guys are within? Because I feel like that's really important for people to know watching this so that they know, to call you if they are in your service
Yeah, we
location.
do all of Pinellas, Pasco, and Hillsboro.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
Perfect.
Mhm.
And are there any limits to the services? Like, is there anything you don't do in
Planting.
regards planting?
Mhm. Yeah. Planting.
Got it. Well,
He's
we can-
more of the destruction demo guy.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. We'll leave
I'm
the
kind of that
planting-
same way too. I'm honestly.
We'll leave the planting to Kelly.
Speaking of that, of the destruction and everything, we had just had a job recently in where was it?
Treasure Island.
Treasure Island. Very missed opportunity. It was so sad I didn't get to do this.
Mhm. Yeah.
Moving this huge 80-foot tall pine tree next to a house that was supposed to be demoed.
Mhm.
So the guy said we could drop the tree in the house if we wanted to.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that would have been kind
I
of cool.
would-
That's what I
wanted
said.
to
We
do
missed
so I'm
it.
like I wanted to get a
Oh.
view of me just crushing this house.
Yeah,
with this
yeah.
tree, honestly.
And be like,
Just
oops.
for fun. Yeah,
That would have been such
Yeah.
a cool advertisement.
I know.
Right.
but I got caught up with estimates. So I didn't make it out to that job that
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And then the workers got it taken care of.
Yeah.
But I can just
Don't be
imagine-
like the other tree companies.
I know,
I can
right?
just imagine, you living next door, not knowing the house is sweet demoed, and just watching me
Oh,
drop
tree on it.
through the roof of this house.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Now we gotta find something like that.
So we're getting close on time, but I want to hear. So what is like the process? So you come out, you talk to your mom, you talk to Kelly, she gets everything ready, you go out, you estimate it. Okay, I want to go ahead with the job. Like, how long does like the permitting part take, and do you have to do a permit for every tree, or how
Is it just
how does the whole
select one?
process kind of work?
So if we try to streamline it
Mhm.
as efficiently as we can for our client,
Mhm.
so after we come out and do the estimate, first thing we do is we will email them a quote. We do
Yeah.
everything digitally. We don't do anything on paper.
Mhm.
All our client has to do is go on that email and click one button and
Mhm.
put their digital signature in there. After then, we will handle anything in regards to either doing a permit or an arborist report, if need be. But it's just if we're just doing a removal, then it's just them approving it, giving us their
Mhm.
signature, us getting the permit or arborist report, cutting it down, making sure our client is happy, and then we collect payment
Mhm.
after everything is done and making sure our client's happy with the work.
So what is like an arborist report?
An arborist
I've
report
heard of it
is
before, but I
yeah,
don't, know exactly what it is.
yeah. So it's a letter from a certified arborist that states that this tree that they're talking about is hazardous to the property it's or the people around it, like the public
Okay.
area.
Yeah.
Like for example, it can be a tree that is ruining the foundation of a house because the
Mhm.
roots are under it, or it can be a dead tree hanging over a sidewalk. It's
Yeah.
just another option that we are given by the government
Mhm.
as a second opinion to a permit.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're basically the same thing. You still have to file it with the city, but it stops it. It's if you go to the city telling you want this tree out, they don't let you do it. And arborist report is a second opinion on that.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
And each city has different rules.
Oh, we know how that
So
goes.
Yeah.
And different ways of doing permits and
Yes.
different portals
Municipalities.
and different,
It's
yeah.
so fun to
Yes.
learn.
Yes.
That's the fun part. Do they ever have to do an inspection after?
Yes.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to deal with that all the time too.
If there's a requirement to plant a tree,
Yeah.
then they have to go back out and make
Okay.
sure that the tree is planted.
And is it the same rules where it has to be specific types of trees that we can
Yes.
replant?
It's
Yeah.
any shade, any
And
native
they don't
forest
like
tree.
palm trees for whatever reason. I know we like, we do development stuff like that too, but a lot of times it has to be specific trees, and you can only have so much palm trees. You have to have
Mhm.
whatever else kind of trees. So
They give them a list.
yeah, yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
I
so
know.
interesting. Who knew that trees were like so interesting?
Yeah, so when we
Like-
developed this property here, there was trees on it, and over so many inches around the tree, they charge so much money to take a tree down. At least that's how it was in Pasco County. And I just thought that was very interesting. I had no clue when, when we did this that they would, try to charge us that much money for trees, but they did.
They
So.
do.
The-
It is expensive to cut a whole
The,
tree
the
down.
county did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Over so much
Andrew's
inches around
like,
for a tree when you're
you should have called
Yeah.
me.
clearing it. Yeah, they just came in. Yeah, so
That's another thing people don't realize how expensive tree work is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is.
But we have to, to do it correctly, we have to make sure we have the correct insurance and everything like that.
Permitting, all
Upkeep of the
that.
equipment and the dump
Mhm.
fees, the yard.
Yep.
People don't really think about that part.
Mhm.
Your employees being out there, the
Yeah.
materials, the tools. I mean, there's a lot that goes into
It
it.
is.
Especially after these few years, is we've seen almost 100% increase
Oh, wow.
in prices overall. Between labor, we've seen a 75% increase in cost for labor. Dump fees are at like 95% right now.
yeah,
Chainsaws are about double
That's crazy.
what they can cost. And these things aren't cheap, especially dump fees. We are spending thousands of dollars a week
Yeah.
on
Mhm.
that. And a chainsaw that we used to buy for $300 is now $600.
yeah.
Yep.
So we have all these rising expenses, which is why we also have to charge
Yep.
more as well, not including we have about $500,000 worth of equipment that we use to
Yep.
do everything properly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's what people don't
get
realize. They just,
Nope.
they think there's just some
that.
guy.
I hear about it all the time.
Yeah.
So big companies are so expensive. It's like they don't think about everything that goes into it, like all the employees that we have, the equipment that we have, the vehicles that we have. It takes
Like you
money
guys
to
talked
make
about.
money, and a lot of people don't realize that. And then on top of it, you pay what you get, you know? You could have a
Exactly.
tree service that goes out there and charges you the bare minimum. They're probably not licensed or
We do.
insured. They probably don't have workers comp. They don't have coverage. Their
They
tools
definitely don't
are
have the right
rusting
equipment.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're
They
just
take your
pulling
money
up
and
in
they
a
run.
junky little truck and doesn't have any logo on it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you pay for what you get, and if you want good services, you're gonna pay the price of good services. So, and trees are expensive.
Yeah.
I think I can't remember how much they charged to cut down the trees in our backyard, but it was like there was 2 trees because they had like some type of infestation.
Disease
It
or
had a
something.
disease. And so they were weak, so they had to take them out because it could fall over in the neighbor's yard or whatever. But it was like a couple thousand per tree just to cut it
Yeah.
down. That wasn't even including the stump grinding. So it's expensive.
Yeah, we've had instances like where we've had clients who can't afford to do the work, and we've gone out and basically done the work for the cheapest that we can.
Yeah.
We don't make any money on those, but last year before the hurricane came, we had a huge dead pine tree that was hanging over an elderly man's house.
Yeah.
He didn't have any money at all, and the next door neighbor called us, and we went out there and we cut down this tree that was probably would typically would be like $3,000 or $4,000.
Yeah, it was a big tree.
75-foot tall pine tree.
Holy crap.
And we cut it down for $500.
Aww.
Yeah, which
that's
the neighbor
awesome,
paid
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
This is why I
Yeah.
love these guys.
Yeah.
I knew they would be great for the podcast.
No, and that's what it's all about in the end. Yes,
It
you have to make
is.
money to feed your
Absolutely.
family and stuff like that. You have to be profitable to grow, but you're
there's
helping the
those certain-
community.
yeah,
That's
there's
all that
those
matters.
certain instances where, as a business owner, you can make that decision to just do the right thing by someone, and I love that you guys do that.
we also we do free tree work for veterans on Veterans Day. Unfortunately, this year we didn't have anyone reach out, even though we advertised for it. But last year we did, I think, 7 or 8.
Oh, really? That's
veterans,
cool. I
different-
didn't know
yeah.
that. That's awesome.
I love that.
I'm sure they appreciate that.
We also do 10% discount for any first responders, veterans, anything like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Police.
That's awesome.
Should we check in and see if we have any more comments before we close
there-
out?
there's
Jennifer
Jennifer.
Tiger. She said, "Such great information, right? I know. I'm loving this podcast.
Tiger Construction.
episode."
Jennifer's awesome.
She is. Mia, you ladies look gorgeous.
Wow, how about me and Andrew?
How you
here?
doing,
That's
hair
messed
flipper
up.
girl?
Missy says, yeah, so many are not insured and
To
protect the homeowners.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I'm
Well,
battling.
yeah,
a light
I'm
right
making
now.
sure if I got somebody falling a tree in my property that they're insured. It's not-
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But I'm sure there's a lot of people that still don't.
I actually have,
Sarah says, hubby pays someone to do it because it's not fun. Laugh out loud. Some of it looks easy, but it's a lot of work. Thank you for your work.
yeah, thank you guys.
That's
Thank
hard
you,
work.
Sarah, for tuning in.
Yep. I actually had a great story there. I just remembered that goes great with what you say. You get what you pay for. I had a client who came out, or sorry, I went out to the client's house and wanted to cut this huge branch off of their oak tree that went over their pool screen. I think I quoted them like $1,500. I mean, it was a sizable branch, and it hung directly over their screen too. So that's a liability
Yep.
of potentially breaking the screen. Later, I heard from her. She asked me if I could do it for $350. I told her no, and then a few months later, she called me again to come back out to give her a different quote. The branch was gone. So I asked her what happened, and she paid someone $300. It was a climber. Came out there and dropped the whole branch on her screen.
So it broke the screen, anyways.
Crushed the whole screen.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah,
So
so
spent a lot more money than
The screen replacement was $3,000.
So
Mhm.
she would have
And
been
the
better off
aggravation.
just taking your quote
Yeah.
to start with.
Yeah.
See, you get what you pay for, people. We're not trying to steal your money. We just, we got to get paid for what we do. Like,
Mhm.
it has to make sense.
That's also why we offer price matching.
Yeah.
As long as it's from a reputable company,
Yeah.
that we compete with, we will match their price. Granted, the scope is the same.
Yeah.
To
God,
make
you
sure
guys
we
are
stay
like better than
competitive.
Walmart. Should be like your new
Yeah.
slogan.
Great value.
Andrew's Tree Care, better than Walmart.
You said great value.
There you go. It is great value. Okay.
You guys are
It's
awesome.
an ad. I better see it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sorry, guys, again.
Yeah.
So most importantly, how can people reach out to you guys? Go through the whole spiel, your numbers, social media, all that stuff.
God.
30-second pitch.
We try to
Go.
make it easy as possible for people to reach out to us, whether it's our phone number, our
Which is?
website.
Our phone number.
Yeah, what is it?
We actually have it up there.
500
There we go. I couldn't
2278.
read it.
Yeah.
I did my
Yeah.
research beforehand. I got your back.
Thank you.
AndrewsTreeCare.net.
Yep.
Love it.
We're on Facebook under Andrew's Tree Care, Instagram,
TikTok.
TikTok.
Mhm.
You're on TikTok?
Yes.
All right. So I might need some help with the TikTok because I've never had one, but apparently that's like everyone keeps telling me we have to get on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do
It
you
is
get a
a-
lot of interaction from there?
I've had 2 viral posts.
Are you
Mhm.
serious?
Yeah, one that got 750,000 views, and I think like 120,000 likes.
Okay. Well, Andrew, I'm coming for you.
And then one
Yeah,
other
but
one-
people like to see, trees
Yeah.
falling down. People really don't like.
It
to
was
see,
had nothing to do about
People
trees.
love
Oh,
to
really?
see me.
It had nothing to do about trees. The TikTok I made.
Was
It's
it a
really
dance?
horrible. It wasn't a dance. I'll show it to
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
After
you. Yes.
We'll link it up
After-
here.
behind the scenes,
Andrew's
we'll go
Tree
there.
Care, you get some-
Yeah, Andrew Tree Care.
Can't give it away, You gotta
Yeah, I
find
know.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
Well, we appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
of
We
course.
appreciate you guys too.
Yeah,
Thank you
keep
for having me.
keep doing what you're doing for all our community, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Shout out to the Hub for introducing me to Kelly about a year ago.
That's right.
That's all. All right. Well, I think that it. pretty
Jesse.
much- Oh yes. Thank you,
I'll-
Jesse. What is he called?
Wizard of Pods.
Yeah. Jesse Guthrie is the man. Also love him. He's
Jesse,
always
put your
behind
link
the
up there.
scenes.
In the
Yeah,
comments.
Jesse, put it up there. You have a podcast. Jesse is your man.
Is
Get with
everything
him.
websites.
He's amazing.
Everything, graphic design.
AI, you name it. He's
Yep.
got it.
Yep.
Love that guy. That concludes
it.
episode 25 of Kielty.
25, 25.
Big 25. Thank you, Kelly and Andrew, again. For
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Thank you.
Absolutely love you guys, and we love you guys. So stay tuned for the next episode.
Thank you.